do sit here, there's a nail.
Okay, that's fine.
Just beware, I don't want that to catch you and hurt your leg. Yeah, that's the only one that's poking out. I think this will hold us.
Oh, yeah.
It should, hopefully.
If it hasn't fallen already since I sat down, I think we
You're
should be
fine.
good. Yeah. All right, so Fill the Gap. Welcome to another episode, another day of learning, another day of interest. They have somebody here special that I met out the blue. It's crazy. I keep meeting people at my job.
Yes.
I just keep meeting people at my job.
It's like a divine appointment.
Yeah.
Like you're there to meet people. And oh, by the way, I can help you with your phone.
Yeah, right. And it's just so many things can spiral from just that.
Uh-huh.
But today it's just a special moment. Meeting her and her daughter at Verizon. It's just when we start playing that game. When you pull that game out, that's how I knew, like, okay, like, what is this? What's going on, really? Like, just out the blue. And
yeah, what kind of people go to a store and pull a game out and sit there and start playing with the employees, right?
Yeah, right.
But
it was really good. And today we're just here to conversate and just bounce off our ideas and yeah.
Share life.
Yeah, share life.
Yeah.
It's really good. For the people who don't, obviously people who don't know you, can you give a little bit about yourself and who you are and what you do?
Sure. Let's see. My name is Beverly, and I live on a horse farm. And
beautiful place, by the way.
Thank you. I have a 12-year-old daughter who is just so much fun. Mm-hmm. And my day-to-day grind is, how I say, I meet a lot of people and have a lot of really meaningful conversations and start my morning off here outside, and because there's no light pollution here, when the stars are out, you can see them all.
Really?
So just start the morning off talking to Jesus, and then just the rest of the day, the encounters that I have along the way, just kind of flow from that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And as y'all can tell, like, the way she speaks is kind of like poetically almost. Like, it's every word you say is just like perfectly placed, like artistically, And this is how she talks regularly. This is how I met her. This is how she talks. Like, and I found it very fascinating and beautiful. How this came about of us being here. She said she wanted to start a podcast. Like, What made you want to get into podcasts to share a story?
I have listened to quite a few podcasts that were very meaningful to me, and always learned something really good from other people. I mean, obviously you have to be very selective who you listen to.
Right.
And not everything on the internet is real. I don't know if anyone knew that by now, but not everything on the internet is real. So finding people that are speaking truth and is just very important. And so when you find that podcast or YouTube channel or whatever it is, and it speaks to your values and you can learn something from it, I think it enables you to grow as a person. And then you take what you have learned and how you've grown through that, through listening to that or absorbing that information, and then you're able to disseminate that to other people.
Definitely.
So opportunities come up. When you're open to opportunities come to you.
Right.
Right? Like saying yes, right?
Definitely.
Like
and
say yes to the Volkswagen. But so that made me very interested in podcasting, that everyone has a story to tell. And I have one, and whether people would find it interesting or not, I don't know.
Right.
But I guess that's up to the listener to decide if it's of value to them. But to be able to speak maybe to even just one person, and what I have to say would make a difference in their life.
Definitely. I think it's not necessary for the people to like it, but the people who can gain something from it. It's not necessary, like me starting my podcast, it wasn't about it wasn't about me gaining 1 million followers or
Right.
getting 1 million likes. No, it's about if it's 30 likes or 10 likes,
Mm-hmm.
and it really changed people's lives. Like I would find more fulfillment in that.
That is exactly right.
To do a podcast.
Why to do a podcast?
Yes.
I feel as if everybody should do a podcast because everybody has a story. Every single body has a story. It's all about being able to package your story to get it to a person. You know, like think about like you're trying to write a book, right? And
Yeah.
books are so important that God had to make sure He had a book himself.
Sure.
You know?
Oh, that is so true. Well said.
Like, so it's like if God had a book, what if we had books? You know, if you think about the best authors writing books, like they had the best information packaged in a way for somebody to receive it. So, but all it is their perception or their story packaging some words. So, and podcasting is just another way of packaging your story, another way of delivering your message to somebody who needs it.
Right.
So I feel like everybody should have a podcast, but I feel like
In a modern, relevant way.
right, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, there
You know?
weren't podcasts back in 700 BC. So
Right, yeah.
now there are.
Right. So everybody should have a podcast. Just how Tom was saying earlier, like if it's ice cream, if it's food, if it's animals, sports, like whatever, it's just can you deliver your message in a way that somebody can receive it?
Right.
You know? So I feel like your story would be amazing. Just from the 30 minutes I had, well, it was pretty longer than that. the hour that I had with you, like just the little bit of your story that you gave me moved me to where I think, and I would want to sit down and talk to her. You know, I would want to sit down and hear her story. So,
Okay.
so you definitely have a story. So now it's just okay. How do we take our story and package it in a way that somebody can receive it?
Sure.
You know.
Yeah. So where do you start with that?
Where do you feel like your story began?
Well, could be like the Bible and say in the beginning. In the beginning, I was born. Could start from there, or could start from the significant life changes, you know, and then how I became the person, or am continuing to become a better version of me. So there's just so many segments of it. There's chapters of it.
If you could, with your entire life, if you can give me one pain point that you saw in your life to help somebody else, what would that pain point be?
Oh, I can answer that. Okay. Purpose. Finding your purpose. Like finding your purpose. And we know that we're all born for a purpose. Our purpose exists before we do. And when we're born, it's because we are the one that can fulfill that purpose. But we don't get a roadmap. We don't get the instructions when we're born. You know, it's not like ordering something off of Amazon and it comes with a booklet of instructions. You know, we're here. And the instructions that we're given come from our parents or guardians or whoever that may be, whoever is in charge of rearing us, and they're just doing things to the best of their ability. You know, they didn't get a set of instructions either. So they're giving us their instructions from their perspective, from the life that they lived, and we're all just trying to move forward and figure it out and do the best that we can with no instructions.
Yeah.
So, kind of like putting together IKEA furniture. So,
Yeah.
you know, let's put this life together. And so, I mean, thankfully we do have, for those who are believers, we do have the Bible, and the Bible is a wonderful set of instructions. It gives us stories of other people's lives. There's mistakes and successes that we can learn from and be able to fashion what we think we should do based on what we learn from that. And then, like we're saying earlier from others along the way, whether it's a book we read or an encounter we have, a teacher in school that had a positive impact, a friend, getting those instructions to be able to help to shape us. So purpose would be the thing that I feel like I have been searching for my whole life and trying to understand, like, why me? Why me, God? Why am I here? What do you need me to do? So, yeah, so I think that would be it. That's a long answer.
No, that's a good answer. And purpose gives meaning. You know, purpose gives you a direction. Purpose gives you a step-by-step thing to do. And like you said, we don't have that step-by-step, and that's why you have to have purpose to get to step-by-step. You have to have purpose to get to the next direction. And I believe so many people, especially people around my age, they're just living life without any purpose. And well, a lot of people are living life without a purpose, you know?
Or maybe for the wrong purpose.
Maybe for the wrong purpose. For the wrong purpose. And I feel like it's very hard to find that purpose. But I remember one time I had to sit and ask myself, like, okay, like, what am I really doing? Not even ask myself, I asked God, like, okay, what is my purpose? Like, through my 22 years of living, I've always done what I wanted to do, but I've never asked God, like, what he wanted me to do with the life that he's given me. You know, I feel like that was a very hard time, because it's like, dang, like, I can't do what I want to do. You know, a lot of people think this is my life, I want to do what I want to do, of course, but ultimately God he gives you the desires to do the things that he wants you to do. You know? And I feel like finding that was a big shift for me, like finding my purpose. Is like, dang, like, I'm not doing what I really want to do, but what I'm doing, the plan I have, the purpose I have is far more greater than what I really wanted to do in the whole grand scheme of things. So finding purpose, that's so vital to life, because you can go through entire life without not having purpose, or like you said, with the wrong purpose.
It's our reason for being here.
Right.
I probably could have, just with my upbringing, had a book to write by the time I was 18. It was a very interesting childhood. And then I decided to make my own screwed up decisions and added even more chapters of dysfunction, So with that, I mean, I would say God can use it. I made mistakes. I have done things in my own way, thinking that it was right. And it's so funny, because even in the Bible, King Solomon, when he was writing, he said even then, there's nothing new under the sun. And even today, even in the year 2026, there is absolutely nothing new under the sun, as far as people are still looking for their purpose.
Right.
People are still seeking their own gain. Like, people are still selfish.
Right.
People are still hateful. People are still pursuing wealth and fame and status, and it's just packaged differently now in the year 2026. Like you were saying earlier, we measure success by followers and likes on social media. And you can have all of that. King Solomon back in his day, if we were to try to modernize him, he would be a famous rock star with all kinds of mansions and every car, all the drugs, all the encounters with relationships that he would want. He would be what pop culture would say. He made it. He's successful.
Right. Yeah.
And he would still be empty, because like back in his day, King Solomon had all of that, had everything, anything he wanted, he could snap his fingers and have it, and he had it all. He partook. He partied hard. And he came back at the end of all of that, and he says, I've had it all. I've tasted everything that I could possibly want to do. I've done it, and it's all empty. All of it. And at the end of all that, he found that the only thing that really satisfied was the life that God wanted him to have, and finding his purpose in God.
Right.
So it's the same. We can have a successful career. We can have the home, the cars, the status, the trips, the whatever, and still feel so empty inside. And I think that's why, people feel like they haven't found their purpose, and maybe end up, taking their own life because they feel like their life doesn't have meaning.
Right.
And to be truthful, a life outside of God does not.
Right.
You're just living. It's just a dash in the middle from the date you were born, and then the dash, and then the date at the end. It's that little teeny dash in the middle. That's our life.
Right. I forget what verse it is, but it says, what is it to gain the whole world
and lose your own soul?
And lose your own soul. And
yeah.
that's such a, and to your point of, it's crazy that without God, you seem like you have everything. But with God, it seems like you have even more of everything, of true things,
Right.
It's just, but so many people are chasing those things. They're so chasing tangible things that tomorrow, if your life ended, it wouldn't mean anything.
Right.
And that's really my whole reason for my podcast, is like to get people to wake up, or the uncover their eyes. Is like, man, there's more to life than the things that we're chasing. There's more to life than what is being promoted. Women, drugs, money, the accolades, successes. Like, after you have those things, then what? And I feel like it's when you was talking about Solomon. I mean, Solomon did all those things. Then he even ended saying, like, all those things don't mean anything.
It's empty.
Like,
all empty.
I believe that's God's way of showing people's purpose by their mistakes in their lives, especially people in the Bible, like King David. Like, nobody was the best person. Like, nobody was a perfect person but Jesus. Like,
that's it.
And for God to still use them, and he still blesses them, just shows us, like, we're no better or we're no worse than them.
And we're no different.
We're no different.
It's just a different time and date stamp.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
We're the same. Nothing has changed.
And I think having that humility of having that humility of saying, like, dang, like, my life is not really my own. I'm on this earth alone, but there's no doubt in my mind that we was meant to meet each other and have this conversation and talk about the things that we're talking about for other people to hear it. I feel like that's just it's not coincidental.
No, not at all.
And I feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose in doing this, because this is my purpose. It's not something that I could have drawn up myself. It's not something that I could have just magically, miraculously had happened. But
and what a blessing to be 22 years old and having a grasp on this reality.
Yeah.
Of not running around out there chasing things that don't matter and having to figure this out later in life.
Right.
Like, just hold on to this. It's a gift.
Yeah.
You have been given an amazing gift to have the wisdom to see far beyond what's right in front of you, to see what's eternal.
Yeah.
And I guess when I consider having a podcast and thinking back over the story of my life, and like I said, I could have stopped when I was 18 and just written about my childhood, and that would have had enough to, fill a therapist handbook. But no, let me go out there and make it worse. So, but that's on me. So,
If you was to write a book, what would you title it?
Live Holy.
Live Holy. Wow.
Live Holy, like with the W, like the whole thing. I want to eat the whole cake.
Yeah.
But HOLI in there. Live holy, because we're told to be holy, like Christ is holy. But it's not something that you automatically become. It's something that you're in pursuit of.
Right.
So it's daily. Live holy, to be holy daily. And as we're sitting here in Easter week and knowing that, we know what happened because it's in the Bible,
right,
that in this week, it would have been the week that Jesus knew he was heading for the cross. He did it anyway. He was here for that purpose.
Yeah.
He pursued that purpose. Even
Daily.
as painful as it was, he pursued that purpose. So I kind of forgot where I was going with that. We were talking about.
I mean, that was good though. That was like really good. Living Holy. That would be the title of your book, Living Holy. Man, what would be the first chapter? How are you gonna dive into your book? First chapter.
Well, it would have to start with the mistakes that I make. To maybe they're not all mistakes. So just life, things that happen.
Right.
Okay. And then how God redeems it. Right. It's not lost. God doesn't waste anything.
Right.
Nothing is wasted. Kind of like being on a farm. You learn not to waste things.
Right.
Right. So nothing is wasted, especially when it's put back into his hands. Nothing is wasted.
Right.
So that would be the title of it, and the purpose of it would be that, like I was going back to, like what a blessing it is, what a gift it is for you as a young man to have this grasp on God's call on your life, and for you to be pursuing that. And I'm going to pray that you never lose sight of that. And if my story could help any other young woman, maybe any other young person, doesn't necessarily have to be a woman, but I would be speaking, maybe to young women. I have a daughter, right, and I would want her to learn first and foremost that the world tells you what your worth is, and it's a lie. That's an absolute lie. Don't believe it. Don't fall for that. Don't let anyone tell you what your worth is, because there is a dynamic difference between your worth and your value.
What is that difference?
That difference is, worth says that you have to earn love. Worth says that you have to check all the boxes for someone else to like you, to see your worth, right, what you bring to the table, right? Like if you work for a business, that business sees your worth in what you do for them to make the company money. So you're a worthy employee if you make the company money. So there's that lie, and people determining your worth by what you do for them. Your value is what God sees you as.
Wow.
Your value. He says you're so valuable to me that you cost the life of my son on the cross.
Wow.
That's your value. And when God looks at us, he says, are you worthy? No. None of us are, but are you valuable? Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Because you cost us the life of my son on the cross. So every day, yes, you're valuable. So when you live that way and you know you have value, because the creator of the universe places that value on you, you want to live like you are a person of value. And you don't waste and squander something that's valuable.
Right.
Right? So, You're not going to take something really, really valuable and go destroy it. Your life is valuable because God says so. So when you hold on to that truth and anybody else comes up to you with the lie that you have to earn your worth, you can repel that.
Right.
Yeah, you take that lie on.
Right.
Because I know where my value lies. So I'm going to live like I'm of value. I'm going to make different choices and not be chasing what the world chases. The world is chasing worth.
Wow.
I'm chasing value.
That's really good. That's really good. And dang, that's really good. Because, and it's crazy, the world promotes the value. The world promotes the worthiness of you be able to receive something, whether that be a paycheck, whether that be a relationship, and a woman's say you got to do X, Y, and Z for you to get love. Like that's not even how God does that.
Not even.
That's not even how God does that.
No, He loved us first.
Wow.
Before we even love Him.
He knows we're such a mess up, and He still loves us.
He still loved us first.
Wow.
No, that's not how the world does things at all. The world says, you love me, and then I'll love you.
Right.
No.
Dang. And I think a lot of people get God wrong in thinking like, I have to perform for His love, or I have to go to church for His love, or I have to read my Bible this amount of times for His love. But it's like, He sent His only Son for that. Like he's the work is already done.
And that is so sad, that legalism, that, and I think it's turned a lot of people, off from pursuing God because they see, maybe they've heard some things that aren't true about Him, and that God is this, big judgmental hand in the sky that's just going to look and pound you. He's going to punish you if you make a mistake. He's just looking for a reason to give you a spanking, and that's not who He is.
Right.
And He is love. He is mercy. He is grace, and to pursue Him is, seeing Him as that Father, seeing Him as that kind Father that knows that we're going to mess up and doesn't want us to go run and hide from our mistakes. He wants us to come and say, hey, I messed up here. So He can, there could be some punishment involved, but there's always that mercy, that forgiveness.
Right. Speaking on the podcast and you wanting to tell your story, and just how does somebody to your stature get your story out? Like how does somebody figure out what their story is and to be able to deliver the message like you're delivering me right now?
Oh.
Like how do you have the courage just to speak about the things that you speak about? Because some people get discouraged. Some people get like, oh, I don't want to talk about God. I don't want to talk about Jesus. Like I don't want to talk about that stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. Where does that even come from?
Sure. Wow. And I have lived that too, of having faith but keeping it kind of hidden, and not being bold in my faith, and just kind of a private Christian, and that because being more concerned about what are people going to think, are people going to like me, how's this going to affect, what are people going to say behind my back, so. But after you go through some really, really hard things that break you, and you see that God was the one that was there picking you up, putting your pieces back together.
Wow. It don't even
and
matter.
You're going to be ashamed. You're going to be ashamed of the one who picks you up and puts your pieces back together. So I have put my trust in people, and people disappoint because they're people, you know, but I put my trust in a God who has never disappointed me, even when I know that I have been disappointing to him, even when I have turned away and pursued my own things and lived my life like God didn't even exist. And he still waited for me. He still waited for me to turn around and come back.
I think ambition, like, and somebody spoke about this before, talking about ambition is not like, oh, I want to do this ambition, but like the ambition to think, to be a slave to somebody's thoughts or the perception in their head. Like, oh, like, I'm scared if I say this, she might think this about me, or if I do this, they might think this about me. Like, and somebody said, like, that's slavery. Like,
it is.
It's slavery for
I hadn't
you
thought of it that way, but yeah, you're in your mind.
Yeah, it's like you're enslaved to somebody else's perception of you, and somebody else's perception of you is just fake. It's something that you made in your head, like.
And you know what I tell my daughter? That most of the time we're thinking that people are thinking about us, and they're not.
Yeah.
You know, they're thinking about what they're going to have for dinner, or, you know.
Right, but they're not. They're not. We're not that important for somebody else.
We're not that important, really. So people are not thinking about us as much as we think they are. You know, we're thinking about ourselves, and worried about ourselves, and so that paradigm makes us think that other people are thinking about us because we're thinking about us. And,
it's not the case.
That's not the case.
It's not the case. And I believe that the hardest battle is the battle within your mind, like with anxiety, with fear, with ambition, like all that is just the battle within your mind, especially with anxiety. Like all anxiety is you thinking of an unfavorable outcome for yourself in the future. So if I'm scared to get on planes, well, you're probably overthinking the plane crashing and burning, when that's just the imagination that's in your head causing you to have anxiety in the present. So, like,
we can create fear. Fear breeds fear.
Right. Exactly. Like if you're always overthinking the worst possible outcome for yourself, of course, the worst possible outcome for yourself is the only thing that can come into fruition. Compared to if we just thought of everything that's the best outcome for ourselves, like the best outcome for ourselves could produce only those things, you know? So
and another perspective is, even if the worst does happen, that we're not in control of everything.
Right.
And by trying to be in control of everything, sorry, the horses are running around.
No, you're fine.
By trying to be in control of everything, that is so much pressure to put on ourselves because we're not. And give that control over to the one that it belongs to.
Yeah.
And so I had read something last year. I had read that everyone should have their own personal verse. And that a lot of times soldiers in the foxhole will have their own personal verse. And that's the one that they can lean into and have it memorized to be able to lean into when things are getting really, really tight, really hard. And so I thought about that, like I do. I need my own personal verse. So I started praying about it. Like, God, bring it to me. What would be my personal verse that I could lean into when things start getting really hard? And then it's just like every time I would open a book or open my Bible or jump on Instagram or something, this verse kept popping up. I'm like, okay, thank you. I hear you. And it's Romans 12:2. And I'll tell you this before I tell you what Romans 12:2 says, that a lot of studies have been done on the neuroscience of anxiety and how those thoughts create the pathways, those neural pathways in your mind. And you can create the neural pathways in your mind to either breed anxiety, or you can create neural pathways in your mind to connect to positivity and to keep you calm when maybe situations are present that you normally wouldn't be calm in.
Right.
So understanding the science of that and these neural pathways and how literally your thoughts shape them. Your thoughts shape the kind of thinking that you do. Romans 12:2. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So you can prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Wow. And modern science is like,
right,
we figured it out.
Right.
No, I'm sorry. Paul wrote about that in Romans, in the book of Romans, several thousand years ago.
Right.
We're just now catching on to it. So when I think about that, so be not conformed to this world, the world's thinking, and again, circling back to what the world puts worth on.
Right.
Your idea of worth and God's idea of value are two completely different things.
Wow.
And I'm going to transform my mind and my way of thinking into what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
Wow.
There we have it. So if that's my thinking, right? Then being able to speak to somebody, you know, like the day that I met you, neither one of us, you know, shoved Bible verses or our theology in each other's face.
Right.
It was just kind of evident by, I don't know, it was just kind of evident.
Right.
That, you know Jesus, don't you? Yeah, you do too, don't you? Yeah. So, and it didn't require, you know, me wearing a T-shirt that says, you know, do you know Jesus or anything like that. It's just your life shows it. Your countenance shows it.
Right. You give off that energy, like.
Right.
You pick it up on it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. So, and the joy of the Lord is your strength, and you exude that. You do.
Right.
You exude that. You have something more going on back there that, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely.
You exude it. And I was like, when you walked off to go to the back, I'm like, Sarah, my daughter, I'm like, Sarah, I think he knows Jesus. But yeah, so that.
Wow, that's amazing. All that is amazing. And this is testament that you definitely need a podcast. You definitely need to get your story out there, because I mean, you've impacted my life just from the couple of hours that I've even known you. So just imagine you putting out billions of hours on podcasts and speaking the truth for somebody who needs you ultimately, you know? And I really wanted to, today was really about showing you how really easy it is. You know?
Okay.
Like, I have 2 cameras set up, you know? All you really need is your phone. You already have the, you have
I got a really good phone. This guy hooked me up with a really good phone.
yeah, you can use that phone,
Got
definitely.
a really good phone,
Definitely, that's a great phone, but I mean, your story is amazing. That's amazing. If you create a book, I promise you I'll be the first to buy it.
Would you? I'll give you a copy.
Okay.
Yeah, I signed it too.
How big do you think your book would be?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I
There's probably no telling, really.
Yeah, there's really, because I don't think it is not ending, right? It's not ending. So God writes our story, and He's always writing our story. Our story doesn't end.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
Until we are with Him in heaven, our story is continuing.
Wow.
So maybe it's just a segment of our story.
Right. Of like a volume 1.
Yeah.
You know?
And I really hadn't thought about this until I, you know, felt led to write. And how many times in Scripture it talks about Jesus being the author and finisher of our faith.
Right.
Like, and what a good storyteller Jesus was.
The best content. The best content ever.
The best, absolutely. He went viral everywhere he went.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
He did, and what a great storyteller. and use parables, to get people thinking for themselves.
Yeah,
definitely. And then I was reading in the book of Luke this morning how he was talking to his disciples about talking about truth, and the way he spoke about it. He said that those with a childlike faith are the ones that get it.
Right.
And the ones who think that they are so wise and, that they're the ones that will fool themselves. They won't actually get it. They'll miss the message.
Right.
Because they'll think they're I'm so wise, I got this.
Right.
And they miss the message. And it's that childlike curiosity, to be curious about something.
Right.
To pursue something, to want to know.
Right.
When you want to know something, you're going to pursue it.
Right.
And so it's that pursuit of wisdom and purpose.
But like, comment, subscribe. Be tuned for the next episode. Be tuned in for a Live Holy podcast. She will get it up and running.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make sure that she has everything that she needs for that. But
thank you.
I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Pray to God. I'll see you next time.